Bizarre Brain Comics. Oh, hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host, and this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories as they are. Now, this time I'm going to take a look at a miniseries from 1999 by John Byrne. This is Superman and Batman, Generations, an Imaginary Tale. It's an Elseworlds miniseries. Elseworlds. And this is in perfect bound comics on heavy card stock, better quality printing and paper, and this is one of the few times I think it's a project that is actually worthy of that higher price tag on the materials. Generations, Superman and Batman, Elseworlds, and it's titled Generations, and it covers the time period from 1939 to 1949. Well, sort of. Written and drawn by John Byrne, and it was originally printed in 1999, of course, from DC Comics, and it is the first of 3 Generations miniseries. I don't have the other 2. I wasn't even aware that there was a third one. I'd never seen that one. But it's a major part of the series is the loss of the floating timeline. That is, the characters age over time, and their offspring take over and such like that. It goes through the eras. I wrote it wrong. It goes through the eras of comic book development, from the golden age through to the dark age of the 90s, and reflecting the type of stories common through those eras and on into the future. Like in this case, I'll try to be relatively brief, because it's 4 issues, so I won't go into too much detail. Each issue has 2 stories, and they're kind of representing significant periods in the lives of these characters, and of course it starts in 1939. Superman premiered in 38, Batman premiered in 39, so both of these characters are still relatively new on the scene, and that's the way it is. It starts in 1939, the Vigilantes, and here's this cool auto gyro. You don't see those very much, but you might remember seeing, if you saw the Rocketeer movie, there was an auto gyro in that. They never built very many of them. This is W on the side, so it's from Wayne Industries, and they're going to the 1939 Metropolis World's Fair, and it is Bruce Wayne and his girlfriend / pilot at the time, and they come in for a landing, kind of illegal, just being the Wayne being the playboy, and suddenly out of one of the displays of the future and future technology come smashing, this giant robot comes out, and then we see that it is being controlled remotely by this villain, who at first glance you might think is Lex Luthor, but it's not. It's the Ultra Humanite, and he's in his wheelchair, older man. The Ultra Humanite, who was probably Superman's first super villain, but he was then later overshadowed by Lex Luthor, and then popped back up again years later. And he was known for the Ultra Humanite is basically as I see it anyway, the original Superman from Siegel and Schuster's short story, which they printed in their own little fanzine back in the 30s, and well, it was under the title of The Reign of the Superman. And but because ultrahumanite basically means Superman, and he's basically that super smart character, which then Lex Luthor became it. And but Ultra is known for swapping his brain into other people's bodies. So the robot is attacking, and Bruce Wayne and the lady are in trouble. They're running for cover, and Ultra is smacking his insubordinate assistant. It was this young red-haired fellow. Who's that? And we see Soups up, picks up the robot. You can see him saving him, everybody, crushes it into a ball and tosses it away, and then leaps off. Okay, then that night, it's bats. We see Batman, and of course, both this is an early interpretation of Superman, as he similar to how he first appeared, and the same goes for the Batman. And running up against Clark Kent and Lois Lane, doing some snooping, and he's doing some snooping, etc., etc. And we see more of the ultrahumanite. Then we get a little hint because a pre-Robin Dick Grayson makes a brief appearance, and etc. Helping out with some bad with the ultrahumanite's goons, and so they're captured by the Batman, and then helps with Superman, and then they basically track down ultrahumanite and his assistant, who's just known as L. Ultrahumanite seems to be getting away in a rocket ship, but tosses something and he doesn't get away. Kablooey, it doesn't work. And that is basically then he says, well, there's a little bit of red hair. Oh, it's a wig. This red-headed assistant was. It's a hint. It's a hint that his red-headed assistant wearing a toupee by the name of L is, I'll tell you right now, Lex Luthor. Then we jump 10 years to Family Matters. Joker has kidnapped Lois Lane, and she's a pregnant Lois Lane. She's married to Clark Kent. And anyway, and it turns out it was the Joker and Lois Lane, Joker and Lex Luthor working together to get Soups and Batman. Oh, it was a trick. It was Batman in disguise. And have a little flashback here. We see Robin, of course, Dick Grayson Robin. Of course, he has grown up, got a new costume, and etc. And ultimately, we find out that Superman, it was a trick. Superman's right there because they knew about the kryptonite that they used against him, and turns out that Luthor had exposed. Know that Lois is. Clark Kent is Superman's true identity. Exposed her to gold kryptonite and is about to expose him to the gold kryptonite, which will permanently remove his powers. But Batman wasn't dead. Take care of things. Boom. But Luthor gets away. But everything is stopped. And then we get a little hint that, okay, we see the lady of Wayne Manor. Well, we don't know who she is. We never get to see her face, so we don't know who she is. But she's hinting that she is going to have a little baby too. And that's issue 1, 39-49. Issue 2, 59 and 69. The Whirly Bat, which makes very few appearances. The Whirly Bat. And this is it right up there with some of the silly stuff from the Silver Age. Both of these known for the Silver Age as Mr. Mxyzptlk. Look at Superman as a giant, and it also has Batmite and some other aliens involved. Oh, it's all pure fun, but it's tied to the same characters, and there we find out the second Kent child has starting to display superpowers. And here we have, the Wayne boy, who is the new Robin. And Dick Grayson has moved on. Giant robot. More monsters. More silly monsters. And then 1969, still Silver Age, protesting the stuff. And along in here somewhere, we find out that say Alfred has passed away, and Bats is getting older. Joker's in prison, and Bruce Wayne Jr. he's pretty much grown up, and he is Batman. Along in here, we also find out that the elder Kent child, who has no superpowers, and he has been they kept it from him that his father is Superman, while his sister Kara has become Supergirl, and he knows nothing about that, except somebody snuck up and told him about it. But he has no superpowers because of the exposure to the gold kryptonite. He is an officer in the army in Vietnam, and turns out he is killed in Vietnam. More Bats action. And then it seems that, Joker Jr. is doing something. It turns out it's actually the old Joker. He's just pretending to be his own son, but falls for a trap, and it seems Batman is killed. It says, no, Batman isn't killed. It's Robin, but it's a switcheroo. It is Bruce Jr. in the Batman costume and Bruce Sr. in the Robin costume. But we find out that he is not actually dead. He was just severely injured. And along the lines, Supergirl and Bruce Wayne Jr. Are engaged. Here we have wedding announcements. They're going to 1979. They're going to be married, and they work together as a team against Brainiac. And more stuff going on. Kablooey. Clark Kent is getting old. Well, it's mostly makeup because he doesn't look that old. But here is Bruce Sr., no longer Batman, doing some adventuring, and he comes across being captured by Ra's al Ghul. And along this way, Bruce Sr. disappears. Here's again a little hint. We still have no idea, and we're not going to find out who Mrs. Wayne is. But then here's another villain pops up. This is Luthor armor, style armor, but it's got a stylized S on the front. What's going on? Attacks the wedding. Kara pretty much reveals herself. Takes on, and turns out it is the elder Kent child who was found. He was not actually killed, but he was saved by Lex Luthor and given superpowers. And he is fostered by and he has, over the years, he has made him very, very hateful, and he defeats and kills his own sister, Kara. But in the process, it's killed him as well, because the stuff that they gave him to give him powers was it destroys him, kills him, and that really makes an impact on Supes. Then 1989, Crime and Punishment. He spent 10 years trying to find Lex Luthor. Here's apparently a video of Superman killing Lex Luthor, and Hal Jordan, Sans Power Ring, is the president. And we find out that he spent 10 years tracking down Lex Luthor. We find out that Lex Luthor has actually been at another time, has done some time traveling, been elsewhere in time, and he had set up the deaths, to look like accidents, of Superman, Clark Kent's friends, like Jimmy Olsen, Lucy Lucy Lane, etc., Perry White's son, etc. And then we find out that, and he reveals that he is not actually Lex Luthor. It is the body of Lex Luthor with the Ultra Humanite's brain inside. And he is the one who has done all this. And now Superman has been exposed to gold kryptonite, has lost his superpowers, but in the process, conceived to defeat this fake Luthor, but in the process, it winds up killing him, and he is to be sentenced. He admits his guilt in murder because I can't decide whether I killed him intentionally or not, and then he is sentenced to 10 years in the Phantom Zone. Boom, boom. Then 1999 and 1929. What the heck? What's going on here? So it's 1999. Superman is being going to be brought back from the Phantom Zone, serving out his sentence. But here we have Ra's al Ghul, and he has the new Batman, the newer Batman, Bruce Wayne Jr. Batman, and he has been captured. But then they release him, and he reveals that he is what has happened, and it flashes back to the 10 years before when Bruce Wayne Sr. was the captive of Ra's al Ghul, and with the immortality of the Lazarus Pit, it's learned that if two people go in, one will die, the other one will be immortal. Will never have to indulge in the Lazarus Pit again. And in that instance, we find out that Bruce Wayne is the one who survived. And he has taken Ra's al Ghul's place, dismantling the crime situation and making it a force for good organization. And now he wants his son to take over so he can become Batman again, now that he is young and strong and fit. And here he is again with a change in the costume, a white belt and a white circle around the bat, and he is Batman again. And Superman is back, and we find out that his dead son had married a Vietnamese lady, and they had a child together, and he has been working as Nightwing alongside Bruce Wayne. And like his father, he had no superpowers. But with the aid of Kyle Rayner, the new Green Lantern after Alan Scott, has found one of the hideouts, and he figured out that the Ultra Humanite, she had wanted Clark Kent's or Superman's body, but that it would be useless to him exposed to the gold kryptonite. So he knew he had some serum to restore his superpowers. They get there, they find it, and he takes it because it's a risk. He takes it, it's okay, and his powers are restored. Then he concocts the other serum, another batch of the serum, gives it to his own grandson, who is now Nightwing, and he gets the superpowers at a diminished power level, of course, from his father, and then so they basically take over everything. Then we go to 1,000 years in the future. What the heck? And here's old Superman and old Batman, both of them virtually immortal. And this bat plane is a bat spaceship, and the new Fortress of Solitude in orbit somewhere. And they're going through, and they was thinking about when the first time they met. And he goes, "Oh, you mean at the World's Fair?" He says, "No, when we met before, when as Superboy, 1929, 10 years before." And this is at a journalism contest or some sort, and Bruce Wayne, or sponsored by Bruce Wayne, a young Bruce Wayne. And this is when Clark Kent first met Lois Lane. at this thing for these journalism students, and the robot goes running loose because they're supposed to find, and in the process, Clark Kent turns into Superboy, whoosh, and young Bruce Wayne turns into Robin. So he was the first Robin before Dick Grayson, and they work together, take out this robot thing and everything, and this was related to the Ultra-Humanite stuff. No, this was early Lex Luthor, before Ultra-Humanite stuff. He tries to take off with Lois Lane, and they work together, save her, take out Lex, and he goes to a reform school. And then we find out here at the end, right at the end, well, here's this other person. This is Lana Lang, who Clark Kent grew up with, of course, and she has superpowers because so many things happened to her that she ultimately became, when she was growing up, she had so many stories where she got powers, usually of a magical nature. She was infused with it. She has become immortal with superhuman magical powers herself, and she is part of the team. It's never the end, and I enjoyed that miniseries immensely. And I have not read, as I said, I've not read the other two, but I wouldn't mind getting a hold of them just to see where they go, because I know I think it's in the second series have stories taking place in the gaps in between here, and I think in this third series is later generations in the future. I think. But I'm not sure. You might know more than me. Let me know of whatever I got wrong. I think it was a lot of fun. It was a bit of genius, and it was actually inspired by a little bit from the Batman Captain America crossover that John Byrne had done a few years before. And so thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, leave your comments down below, and I like that one. But so let me know what you think of Superman and Batman Generations and Elseworlds Tale. Let me know in the comments below it. And remember, come on, it won't do it. Comics are art.